Anyone can be rich in 6 months with these habits, according to Robert Kiyosaki. Anyone who follows these habits for 6 months will be rich. And no, I'm not selling you dreams. This isn't just a pretty phrase to motivate you. It's a reality I've proven throughout my life and with hundreds of students who started with fear, without resources, without degrees, but with a firm decision to change their habits. What you have today in your bank account does not define who you are. What you do today with every dollar does define who you can become. Wealth begins in the mind and is built with small steps, repeated with discipline. That's how you win. That's how you change the game. Let me tell you the 5 habits that can reprogram your financial life. And I am not sharing them as theory, but as daily practices you can start right now. Habit number 1. Spend as if you were buying time, not things. Let me be clear, the money you spend is not just bills. It's time from your life. When you buy a coffee every day, you're not just buying a drink. You're buying a momentary feeling of "I deserve it" at the cost of your future. Here's an exercise. Before buying something, ask yourself how much time you had to work to pay for it. If you earn $10 per hour and buy an $80 shirt, you are giving away a whole day of your life for fabric and stitching. Is it worth it? Sometimes yes, but most of the time, no. When you learn to view your purchases through this lens, something changes inside you. You become more conscious, and consciousness is the first step toward wealth. Because it's not about stopping enjoyment, it's about stopping waste. Habit number 2, learn to generate income without being present. If money only comes in when you work, you're in danger. I lived it. I worked hard, earned well, but when I got sick for 2 weeks, my income stopped. That's when I realized my time couldn't continue to be my only asset. Passive income, that's the key. And you don't need millions to start. Do you like writing? Publish an ebook? Do you know marketing? Sell your knowledge? Do you have some savings? Learn to invest in funds or properties? When I was asleep and my first rental property kept generating money, I felt something incredible. For the first time, my money was working for me. Believe me, you don't need a big company. You just need to start. A small but consistent passive income is worth more than any temporary salary raise. Habit number 3. Surround yourself with conversations that make you uncomfortable. This habit transforms your mind faster than any seminar. Why? Because poverty is a conversation, and wealth is too. If every day you talk to people who only complain, who only talk about debt, low salaries, and how everything is bad, what do you think you'll end up thinking? I distanced myself from very close people when I realized their words were invisible chains. It hurt, but it was necessary. Instead, I sought out conversations that challenged me, that made me feel ignorant, that showed me how much I didn't know. And that was my financial university. Don't expect to find those mentors in your immediate circle. Look for them in books, in videos, in conferences, until one day, without realizing it, you will be the one making others uncomfortable with your conversations about freedom. Habit number 4. Turn your home into a silent financial university. I'm not going to give you empty theories here. I'll give you concrete, simple, and real actions. Some I did myself, others I saw in my students who went from being broke to having their first passive income in less than 6 months. Get ready. There's no magic here, but there is strategy. Your home is educating you, whether you know it or not. Every series you watch, every conversation you hear, every poster on your wall, they are programming your brain. The question is, are they programming you to spend or to grow? I had a note on my refrigerator that said, "Does this bring me closer to being free?" It was a silly phrase, but it saved me from many bad decisions. Habit number 5. Do something that makes you uncomfortable every day. You won't get rich in your comfort zone. You know that. But even so, we avoid anything that makes us uncomfortable. Making a phone call, asking for help, pitching an idea, negotiating a price. Here's a challenge. Every day, do at least one thing that makes you nervous. It doesn't have to be big. It could be sending an email, asking for a meeting, reading about something you don't understand. This trains your financial muscle because every time you do something hard, you become stronger. In the first part, I showed you 5 habits that, if applied for 6 months, can completely change your financial reality. But now I have to talk about something even more urgent: the silent mistakes. Those negative habits that seem harmless, that most people normalize, but that are draining your wealth every single day without you noticing. Believe me, no matter how good your habits are, if you don't stop these mistakes, it's like filling a bucket with water while there's a hole at the bottom. Mistake number 1, confusing income with wealth. This is one of the most dangerous mistakes. Many people believe that having a good salary makes them financially healthy, but it doesn't. I've met doctors who earn $20,000 a month and are broke. Why? Because they spend more than they earn. They have the huge house, the luxury cars, the club membership, and 0 assets. I've also met people who earn $1,000 a month but save, invest, and live below their means. The key is not how much comes in. The key is how much you keep and what you do with it. High income is not freedom. Positive cash flow is. And if you don't know the difference between income, expenses, assets, and liabilities, you're losing the game without realizing it. Mistake number 2, relying on your credit card as a safety net. I said it years ago and I still believe it. A credit card is not an extension of your salary. It's a trap, if you don't, to know how to use it. Many people see it as temporary salvation. Just this once, they say. But then comes the interest, then the minimum payment, then the stress. You're buying things you don't need, with money you don't have, to impress people you don't even care about. Credit cards can be useful tools, yes, but only if you are financially disciplined. If you're not, they're eating you alive. Want to improve your finances for real? Do something radical. Put your card away for 6 months. Learn to live only on the cash you have. The habit of buying without credit is one of the greatest acts of power you can practice. Mistake number 3, believing you need the latest technology to move forward. This might sting, but I'll say it with love. The new phone, the fastest laptop, the biggest TV, they're not moving you forward, they're holding you back. I used an old phone for years, not because I couldn't buy another, but because I understood that I don't need the newest. I need what works. Many people are financially stuck because they upgrade their gadgets every year, while their ideas and skills have been outdated for the last 5. Here's a challenge. For 6 months, don't buy any electronic device. 0. Use what you already have. Instead of looking for the newest tech, become someone who knows how to use well what they already own. That does make money. Mistake number 4, socializing like a rich person, living like a poor one. We all like to go out, have a good meal, enjoy time with friends. I'm not a hermit, but you have to understand something. Going out every weekend, paying for bars or restaurants, tipping like you're a millionaire, that adds up a lot. And by the time you realize how much you've spent, it is too late. Your account is shaking, and your goals are just as far away as before. I always say, the best place to start saving is not at the supermarket, it's in your weekends. Don't stop socializing, but do it at home. Keep it simple. Cook yourself. Talk about ideas, not luxuries. Financial freedom is not built on a Friday night at a club. It's built on a Saturday morning in silence, while others sleep off their hangover. Mistake number 5, dressing to impress, not to progress. Have you noticed something curious? The richest people in the world tend to dress very simply. Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett. Simple clothes, no flashy brands. Why? Because they understand something. Rich people don't need to prove they are rich. People in debt do. I used to spend a fortune on clothes until one day I realized no rich person has ever asked me what brand my shirt was. What matters is how you walk, how you think, how you act, not what logo you have on your chest. Here's a challenge. For 6 months, don't buy clothes you don't need. Use what you already have, wear it with dignity, and watch how your relationship with self-esteem and money changes. Anyone who follows these habits for 6 months will be rich, not because they'll have $1 million account at the end, but because they will already be a different person, braver, more educated, more focused, more free. Having multiple sources of income is not just a financial strategy, it is a declaration of independence. It's how you tell the system, "Thanks, but I choose my own path." And if you've made it this far, it's not by accident. It's because something inside you is already tired of just surviving and ready to thrive. Now it's your turn. Make the next 180 days the beginning of your new story. See you next time.